Running a Fever, episode 398, Spring Creek Trail and my back. I think that may be Spring Creek, actually. This is video if you're listening on the podcast. I am doing video because I'm in a new trail today. And I'm not sure what it's called. But for now, I'm going to call it Spring Creek Trail, because it does go along this Spring Creek. And the only problem with that is Spring Creek winds throughout the whole town. So this may not be the only trail that's on the side of the Spring Creek. So I am walking. I don't know how far I'm going to get, but I hope I get to this side of this half of the trail, at least this part of the trail. And I say trail, but it's all concrete. There's lines down the middle. It's got street lamps all along the way. Might be interesting to film it at night, but I've seen it at night. But I'm walking it for the very, very first time. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and there's a huge construction project going on right across the street from where we are. And they waited, I guess, until construction got to a point where they weren't going to mess it up. And they have paved the other side. This side is concrete, and the other side is paved with blacktop, and it also has lines on it. So I'm assuming that has been finished as well and goes through all the way to my mother's apartment complex. So we're gonna see about that in a future episode, but this time I'm just hoping to get down this trail and back to my house, which is walking distance normally. Gonna talk about my back. But before I say that, let me say welcome to Running a Fever. My name is Michael Davis. This is a podcast about fitness, diet, and medicine. And my goal is to live a long, healthy, happy, active life right up to the very end. And I want to do it by loving my life enough to make it last as long as possible. So what's the deal about my back? Well, let me just recap. I've said part of this in a previous episode, but you know that I had I had been complaining about problems while I'm walking, and after I've been walking for a while, my back would start hurting. And I thought that was just me being out of shape, being too heavy. I thought it was all muscular. And then some weeks later, I was cutting my grass, and I started having some serious pain just from doing that. And then by the next 2 weeks, it was so unbearable that I was just walking crippled. You could see me walking after I'd been standing even for a few minutes. So I would have to sit down for a while before I could continue walking. I remember being at church and having to sit down on the way out, on the way to my car. So that's how bad it was. And it was excruciating pain. It was, on a scale of 10, it was probably 10, maybe 9. I can remember one other time when I had just really bad pain, and that was my 10. It's been so long ago I can't really compare the two, but it's either a 9 or a 10, definitely at the top end of the pain scale. So I've got my fitness watch, which doesn't do very much for fitness. It does count steps and check my heart rate. Now here you can see there's a split off that becomes a sidewalk on this side of the street that's right in front of me. And then we're going to go into the tunnel, which goes to the other side of the street. So you can actually go to the other side without going through a walkway where somebody would probably run you over. So this is kind of cool, this tunnel. It's literally going to be cool because it's fairly hot today. Hope the echo isn't too bad. So I'm judging distance by time. I know that I have about a 20-minute mile walking at this point in my life. And right now I've been walking for 15 minutes. So probably almost a mile. And I really expected this would take longer. But the thing is, I haven't been on the trail the whole time because the trail doesn't start at my house. It starts down the street from my house, like I said, next to this construction project. So I'm not gonna, since I've already walked almost a mile, or 3/4 of a mile, I'm gonna go ahead and turn around, but you can see where it ends, or where it stops at the street. And then you can take the sidewalk on this side of the street and walk down the highway to your heart's content. And there may be someday, there may be a trail over there because the creek goes around here, and there is some kind of right of way because there are power lines. So it seems to me it could just keep going that way, but it doesn't. It stops here. So yeah, I've been walking since my house, not since the start of the trail when I started this podcast. Now we're going the other way so you can see what the same exact terrain looks like from the other direction. So, continuing the story of my back, when it had gotten that excruciating, I went to the doctor. I was hoping it would get better, but it didn't get better. And I went to the doctor. And fortunately, I was able to get an x-ray like 2 hours before I saw the doctor, and they actually had it developed and ready. And not just developed, of course, it's because they don't do that anymore, it's digital. But they had been analyzed by a radiologist. So that was amazing. And it's a testament to the fact that the VA isn't necessarily as bad as it's made out to be sometimes. Because that's where I was getting all this. So she said I needed not actually a doctor, a clinical nurse, said that I needed an MRI, and theirs was backed up, so she got me in at another place in the community, as we say, outside of the VA. I was able to do that within a week or so. And 2 days before the MRI, my pain went away. And as I tell people, I think it's a God thing, because it stopped rather suddenly, and I still have problems with my back. So it's not like there was a miraculous healing that took place, but because I still haven't been healed, but I don't have the pain anymore, which is part of a healing, I suppose. And I don't have to tell you probably that I had been praying when I was going through that excruciating pain for some help. But I didn't pray for it to all be gone away. I just wanted to be able to do what I needed to do. In any event, the MRI showed, this is a really tight fit, by the way, for someone my size. The MRI showed that I had 2 problems, and I know this when I went to the neurosurgical PA, also in the community, because there's no neurosurgeon at the VA facility that's closest to me. And he showed me the MRI, parts of it that are important, cross-section of the spine. There is a narrowing of the spinal column. They probably call it something else, but it's that tube that goes through your spine that contains liquid and your spinal cord. And there's a narrowing of that, which may cause some pain. And there's another problem as well, in that one of my discs, and a disc is a sort of shock absorber between your vertebrae, that had completely gone away, and my L4 and L5, and the L4 has slid out of where it's supposed to be. So there's another possible source of pain. Prognosis, not going to get any better with today's technology, except for surgery. Since I don't have pain, I'm not going to have surgery. And so the only recommendation that I got, there's also physical therapy, which I suppose can help and is a obviously less invasive form of treatment. But the sort of instructions that I was given was just stay active, and that's what I'm doing today. Staying active. So if you're having pain or any other kind of problem, go see your medical provider, because it may be something serious, and there may be a way to treat it. Nobody on this trail today, and I didn't see any signs saying what the trail was or any distance markers of any kind. So I've been walking for a little over 20 minutes now, so more than a mile, theoretically. And I'm feeling no back pain, which is amazing. Nothing has changed except that passage of time. And haven't been very active. I've been kind of concerned about the pain. I did take a muscle relaxer, which was left over from when I had the pain, and I put on a lidocaine patch just as a preemptive measure, just in case the pain came back. But no pain at this point, and I'm on the way back to my house. So, from the Spring Creek Trail, I can tell you I hope that you enjoy this episode and the video of the new trail. And If you got the fever, keep it. If you don't, catch the fever. I'll talk to you next time on Running a Fever.